Good morning. It is Saturday. It's 7:40 in the morning. I have to leave in like 20 minutes. It's my first day today. Uh, Being trained over the weekend. Finally, let's get some income. Let's go. But this full-time position, I don't want getting in the way of my little hobby things that I enjoy. So, let's get into it. The United States. Random place. Fruitville, Florida. Fruitville, Florida. Census designated place. Population is about 15,000 as of 2020. Okay. Let's get into that history. The area that is Fruitville was mostly a sawgrass swamp when European pioneers began to settle the area. This marshland was home to wild cattle, but according to one source, those cattle didn't do well due to a lack of minerals in the foliage that they grazed. This swampland was eventually drained to make a land more suitable for farming. You could draining swamp. How do they do that? Excavating, managing water flow, digging canals and ditches to direct water to lower elevation or a different body of water. Damn. Some terraforming going on in the 1800s, huh? In the late 1870s, a new wave of pioneers began to settle Florida thanks to a growing orange industry. Whoa, I didn't even know oranges grew in Florida. In 1876, a man by the name of Charles Reeves settled in what is now considered Fruitville. According to some sources, he was the one who named the area Fruitville after the abundance of fruit in the area. Beautiful. That's a beautiful, apt name. Reeves would go on to become the postmaster for the area's 115 residents. This happens a lot. The settler becomes a postmaster, or they end up starting some sort of mail place. I've been seeing that. The first church in Sarasota County was the Friendship Baptist Church. Fruitville, the Friendship Church. So wholesome. The church was chartered in 1875, and a small pine log structure was used for the congregation until a new church was erected in 1876, the following year, using some of the original lumber from the first church. Oh, coffee. In 1887, the Florida Mortgage and Investment Company of Scotland donated land to the church for the establishment of the community's first cemetery. That's so interesting. The Florida Mortgage and Investment Company of Scotland donated to Florida, to a church specifically in Florida. That's so. Also, in 1887, Charles and his wife Martha Tatum Reeves converted their corn crib into Fruitville's first school for their 3 children and 7 neighbors. They went on to hire Miss Josie Clower as the first teacher in the area after citizens. Hold up, before I get into. That's so cool that they know their very first teacher. I've never seen that on one of these. Like, how do Where are they getting this information? That's just well documented history, I suppose. I want more Wikipedia articles like this. You know, some like storytelling, something to visualize. So shout out Miss Josie Clowert being the first teacher. Um, After citizens petitioned for a modern school building, funding was granted from the Works Progress Administration to build an elementary school in 1941. Rural schools in the nearby villages of Tatum and Old Maika were closed, with their students bused to the new school in Fruitville. Shout out. A map from 1902 shows Fruitville on the map as a community. In May 1918, Franklin Field began operating as a military airfield during World War I. The Frank Field, the airfield was auxiliary landing. Okay, just double checking because I looked up at the time. I was like, I gotta leave in about 10 minutes. Franklin Airfield was located north of Fruitville Road and what is now Tuttle Road. The airfield was an auxiliary landing station for the U.S. Army Air Service, and housed at least several Curtis J and Jenny planes. Okay. With the war over, airfield saw less traffic and was likely unused by 1920. In 1924, the land was developed for a new subdivision. Through the 60s and the 70s, there were a migrant camp called Sabobo that supplied much of the labor force in the area's farm industry. A major crop in the area was celery. In 1966, there was an estimated 2,000 migrant workers in Sarasota County. I've heard this about the agriculture industry, especially in America. It's like mostly migrant workers from other countries working for below minimum wage under the table to provide healthcare and education to this population. On December 5th, the Fruitville Area Medical and Education Center was open. In November 1990, Litchfield Cinema opened in the Sarasota Commons, community's first movie theater. In 1990, bro. As promotion, theater offered tickets for only 50 cents during its opening. Some of the films shown were Pretty Woman and Back to the Future 3. Fruitville Library was open as part of the community. The library was initially called East County Library through its land use planning process before. Okay. Alrighty then. Wow, I've got water. Dude, I've never seen this stat under demographics. I've never seen this under demographics because I don't believe that the census is asking this question. So I don't know where they are getting this information. But 92.6% of households have a computer in Fruitville, Florida. So how about that? How freaking about that? The population of the population 25 years and older, 91% had a high school degree, so keep on rocking. They got a bunch of schools, some Christian schools, academies even. Cool. Let's look at pictures. Ooh. Is that a zoo? Look at that library. The library's beautiful. Damn, the land is beautiful. I guess we're talking about Florida, you know. Florida's notorious for being like, it's like not the Sunshine State. Is it the Sunshine State? But it's notorious for being beautiful. Super small. And yeah, it is part of, what was the town? Sarasota. So it's basically like a division, a section of Sarasota. They've got it all. They got a Chick-fil-A. Like, damn, this is a whole fucking community. We got a lot of trees and it's beautiful. Just is. So this area was called Fruitville. Oh, there's the celery farm. Celery fields. Dang. I wonder if these are man-made. Like they just poured a bunch of water in there for farming. Look at this lake. It's so like terraformed. Like literally a rectangle. But guys, I gotta go and get ready. Fruitville. Yeah. Let me pull it up on niche.com. Just to get a gander. I mean, yeah, it seems like a super solid place to live. But is it expensive? Not crazy expensive from... That's reasonable. 3 beds in Florida. But are we near the coastline? We low-key are. Yeah. Bound to get hit by something eventually. But look at all this water. Dang. Everywhere. Fruitville. Peace. Love. All the above. That's all. Goodbye.